All right, welcome back, Edwards. That's the new fan that That's the new name that I've dubbed our fans.
I was about to say, we got no new fans.
They're all called Edwards.
I mean, you're not incorrect.
Right?
Kind of true.
Oh man, we're back. It's another episode of the podcast that you're listening to.
Weekly.
God, I'm bad at this. Jesus.
We're back and worse as ever.
Just look at the title. That's the name of the podcast. We don't have to say
Sure
it.
that the word
that's the
"this is a
one.
bad intro" has been said for the past 4 weeks now.
Right.
Well,
Well, I just want to one of these days we'll get it down and it'll be good and we'll have a good time.
Or it'll be a bit. One of the two.
Right. Well, everything's a bit. This whole podcast is actually scripted. We script the entire hour and a half plus every week. It's really fun to write.
Really sad.
Yeah, that'd be awful. Honestly,
Could you imagine, like,
even...
you're trying to tell us that there's effort put into this podcast beforehand? That makes it even sadder.
Well, now there is. Now that Tyler had to go and schoolify it with homework.
Oh,
honestly,
homework. That's true.
It's whack.
Yeah, there's a little bit of effort.
School is
It definitely took some effort to watch this movie, I think.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah. So everyone.
It doesn't take much effort to fall asleep.
Ooh,
Bars.
whoa, wow, you're taking in the hot takes. I haven't even introduced it. We all watched Under the Skin, starring Scarlett Johansson and directed by some guy whose name I forgot. It's a sci-fi film about an alien who lures men in and eats them, ? Very unclear.
By the way, it's Jonathan Glazer.
Jonathan Glazer, there we go. Yeah.
Brings him to the upside down.
Yeah, pretty much, I guess. Anyway, my reason for doing this movie is, I think I mentioned it already last week, that I wanted to watch it. I've been wanting to watch it for a while. I really should have looked up that YouTuber that I mentioned, who's I think it was his number 1 on his top 10 of the decade list.
What a fucking weirdo.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, I'll watch it.
He knows
because it was on Netflix. So I was like, why
exists,
not?
Right?
Damn.
There was more to the movie than that.
Doubt.
But I liked it. I thought there was also some super cool, interesting production decisions that were made. But I want to hear about what you guys thought of the movie in general before I talk about that. Not all at once.
I want to go first.
Yeah, let's have Nicholas go
It was... I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I had no fucking clue what I was expecting out of it. But yeah, just very unnerving. The entire thing, especially with their music choices, that fucking creepy ass violin, and just those really long, drawn out just still shots, when Scarlett Johansson's character is looking in the fucking mirror, that fucking creeped me the shit out. And yeah, no, I always appreciate that kind of unnerving shit, so I enjoyed it. I don't understand fully what the movie was trying to tell me. And maybe you guys can fill me in a little bit on what your take on that was, but just from just being unnerving and just the decisions around that, I really enjoyed watching it. Maybe enjoy is not the right word. I appreciated it.
Good.
Except for some not enjoying parts of that, especially the end.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! That just that shot of her staring at her own face and she's blinking.
Yeah.
That was so sick, dude.
The guy fucking setting her on fire.
Yeah.
Hello? Jesus Christ, dude. I feel like I should have got a trigger warning from that, so...
Yeah, for sure.
Trigger warning,
I guess. Skin being peeled off. I think that...
Or
that's fair.
the brutal rape sequence that was
yeah.
going on right before that.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I guess that, yeah.
What do you?
Like I said, I hadn't seen, no. I mean, I'm saying you're right. Like, I hadn't seen the movie though. I didn't know what to expect. All I knew is that like
Maybe you should.
like there was like nudity and sexual content.
Wow.
be
So now we know what
fair.
Tyler looks for in a movie.
Oh my god.
There were some boobs in there. I did enjoy that.
They really did just start the movie out with titties.
They
I
really
was like,
did.
what? Okay.
Good start.
Yeah, there's no better way to start a movie.
God, they must go a better way.
I'm still honestly. I spent a long time trying to process. I was like, "What?" I don't even know how I feel about this. But I watched it over the course of like the entire day, kind of, because I was watching it while I was at work, so it was kind of broken
Nice.
up. And at first I was like, I don't want to do that. But every time I came back, I was like, I remember everything that happened, and I was able to get back into the moment, so it didn't feel like I was losing anything really. But I feel like at the end of it, I was kind of just like, that was an experience that kept me engaged, but that's the most I could really give it. I don't think I would say I liked it, but I wouldn't say I disliked it. It was, I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of stuff that was like, I can appreciate this. Like just artistically, I was like, I understand kind of like what they're going for with like the way the shots are being made and like the composition of the music and stuff, and like thematically how it's working or whatever to like kind of enhance certain scenes. It's like I can appreciate all of that, but at the end of the day, I was like, I kind of just feel like I'm watching really long takes where nothing happens and then something suddenly happens, but nothing is ever explained. I don't really know what's going on, and maybe that's the point, but that's not my kind of movie. I don't like stuff like that where I feel like I just watched it and at the end I have nothing to say for it. Like if someone was like, what happened? I'd be like, I don't what? She pulls people into a weird lake and then their nutrients get sucked out of their body or something. Like, what does she do with them? Why does she need to do that? Is there a reason? Why did she come here in the first place? Like, what was the point of anything? Why did we watch any of this? And then she just dies. What was the point? So that's
She's just really into origami with these people's bodies.
Oh my god. That scene was
That was fucking insane.
it was, I don't know. Like I wouldn't say it was bad. And they're definitely, I'm not like the target audience for this kind of movie at all. But if someone was like, did you like that? I would not say no. Or I would not say yes.
Damn.
Okay.
But you wouldn't say no.
Yes.
But who is the target
Ambivalence.
audience then?
I don't know, dude. I just know I'm not it.
Scottish dudes with
Are you
rock
Scottish
hard
dudes? Yeah.
peepees.
Yeah.
That it did get okay. It was entertaining. I'll give it that. Like some of the shock value of some of the stuff, just the fact that these dudes were just.
Well, it makes it seem like this, like I don't know, like those whole scenes where like they're walking into the lake. Like I wonder if that visual is like real or for some kind of like
Yeah.
weird like metaphor. Because
I
like
did think about that. Yeah.
any fucking right mind dude's gonna fucking run away from that unless they're like in some kind of weird trance or some shit. I don't know. That's the biggest like it's we don't know what fucking happens. I don't know what fucking happens in that shit. So
I think they try to imply that it's like they're not seeing what's actually there. By the way, like the first time you see the first guy come into the home, you only see like the black room, and then I think that's time after that you see her like the doorway or something, and then the third time you actually see like what the house looks like on the inside.
Yeah.
It's all beat up and messed
all
up,
shit.
but that's not
Disgusting.
what anybody else saw when they showed it from quote unquote their perspective when they were just in the room. So I think it was like heavily implied that she puts them in some kind of trance with her eyeballs where she's all
It's also not the same room every time.
yeah.
do you mean?
Okay.
She's driving across the country. She's not
Different
bringing them
locations,
back
yeah.
because that's why the last time that she the last guy is the guy with the disfigured face. That's when she sees the mirror because she had never seen a mirror before because it was a different place because her like handler, the guy on the motorcycle, it seemed to me that like he gave her these locations to go to.
Ah, gotcha.
Makes sense.
They're harvesting people, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
Did she have more than one then, though? Because there was like a whole squad of motorcycle dudes that you see at the end.
I think those were they may have been the ones that she took. Because, like, to me, like, my takeaway is, like, she's, like, making more skin suits for other
that actually
aliens,
makes
question mark.
sense.
That was, like, kind of what I took away from it. And, like, what I was like, yeah, I could see that.
Makes sense.
And then... Yeah, so I think that's why there was like multiple motorcycle dudes at the end.
That's why the dude
That makes sense.
gets his insides basically sucked out in the
Right.
weird water.
They're trying to get under their skin, bro.
Two parts.
We did it.
And the
Podcast
podcast.
over.
Which I guess means that the dude setting her on fire doesn't really mean anything because there's a bunch more of them now that she's made. They're not made, but given them like disguises so they can walk around and get more people and allow more aliens in. Okay, well,
Yeah,
Solved it.
maybe.
maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Dude.
It's definitely a movie that doesn't tell you
Anything.
Anything.
what it's about.
Literally
Yeah.
nothing. Her acting was good though.
Yeah. Yeah.
She do be acting.
She do
That's
be acting,
that's something that I really latched onto. I wasn't the biggest fan of the movie just because it made me feel very uneasy the whole time. I'm not a huge fan of that. But I could definitely tell like the differences that she would make with her like her movements and like her eyes even. It was really just a very stark contrast between when she was trying to lure the people in and whenever she was like being herself. You could definitely tell like the switch that was going there, and like just the very subtle things that she was doing with her body language was just like incredibly creepy. Like the way that she was like very, I guess like a good way to describe it is sort of jagged with the way that she was walking, because she would just sort of like, it was very abrupt and not very fluid. Like she was just learning how to walk really.
Yeah.
And so the main visual that's like sticking in my mind with that is whenever she was walking down like a road, and it was like whenever she stopped at the bus stop, she like passed the guy that was waiting, and he was just like, hey, the bus is coming in a couple minutes, and she like stopped and then like turned 180 degrees and like kind of tilted her head and then just kind of like moved back and forth, just trying to figure out what to do. It was just like so creepy. I was like, it's such a simple motion, but it was just so creepy. But I think like her physicality was like really what made me unnerved, I guess. It was just
Yeah. Yeah. She did be given the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
It's good though.
She really do be Hebe into GB.
See, I already feel like in this entire 10 minutes we've been talking about it, I already have a little bit more appreciation for it just because there's already things that I didn't think about, like the skin, or making more skin suits, which I don't know. I'm also not very good at like dissecting things in movies most of the time while I'm watching them. I typically need to talk about it afterwards to get that stuff. So when the movie says nothing to you,
It's definitely one of those movies that you need to watch several times just to make sure you're getting all the little finer details and stuff like that. I was tempted to watch it again, but I just didn't get around to it. I'm kind of like Jason. I'm kind of indifferent about this. I'm leaning more towards liking it more so than not liking it. Just because it's so out there. I feel like it's more so of an experience than a movie. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's neat. But I wouldn't say I like loved it. It's not like a movie that I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I gotta see that again. But I like that it's
one time
but
enough.
it's like it's one of those things where like I'll probably revisit just because it piqued my interest, and like I said, it's one of those things you have to watch multiple times. And it's one of those movies that I feel like it's fun to discuss just because since it's so ambiguous, every person's gonna get a different interpretation or get something different from all this. But overall, I thought it was kind of neat. It's one of those things where I was like, is this movie trying to be deep and not succeeding, or is it kind of deep? So I was just kind of like watching it. I was just like trying to decipher it, and it's just kind of hard.
Yeah.
And they do that on purpose for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm just gonna go ahead.
Do it for it.
The what's it called? I was waiting for you and Nick to talk because this feels like a movie that we would watch in a class that we took in college.
exactly what I
Yeah. I was like after watching it, I was like, not like entirely, because I didn't like Melancholia, but we had to watch Melancholia for that class, and this kind of like gave me like a similar like vibe of like a movie that you would show a film class.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
I definitely like this more than Melancholia though.
True.
It's not hard to beat.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think it's trying to be more so of an experience than like a movie. And Melancholy is definitely in the same vein as that, where it's just like, she's sad, and so it's like not supposed to be almost like enjoyable or anything like that. But I don't know. I think this is a little bit more subtle. I think you can take more from this, at least for me. And I don't know. I thought it was neat about an alien, experiencing humanity, and I don't know. I guess to some extent we could like see humanity through an alien's eyes and kind of critique ourselves. I'm gonna make a comparison, kind of like how Futurama critiques the present in the future. It's kind of like an alien critiquing humanity, like humanity critiquing humanity through an alien's perspective. So I don't know. I thought it was neat. I didn't love it. I definitely see the appeal. I might revisit it. I don't know. Overall, not a terrible watch.
I definitely had something else that came to mind, but now I can't think of
There's
it.
a couple things I was thinking of. If you don't mind me stealing your thunder, Jason.
I do.
Okay, cool. All right, I don't fucking care. And I guess one thing I just now kind of like realized, or I guess just been thinking a little bit more since we're talking about like like a critique of humanity and just, I don't know. I feel like, the alien's character, I guess, kind of becomes like more humanized throughout the movie. Like she kind of like learns more and more how to be a human, and I really like how they show that whenever she picks up the dude with the disfigured face, and he's obviously like, I don't want to fuck you. I just want to go to the supermarket. Like, fuck you. I'm not trying to see your titties. And then she actually like lets him go after she like captures him or whatever. But I guess I might not have been not paying attention, but I guess I didn't understand what happened after that when he like ran back home and then like the motorcycle dude found him
And just stuffed him in a trunk.
Yeah,
Because like the motorcycle dude seemed to be like covering their tracks the whole time.
Yeah.
So
He's just tying up a loose end, I think.
okay, that's all it was.
I think so.
But what about the lady that saw him?
GG her.
Did she not do anything?
Yeah.
Well, he saw her.
I mean,
he might have.
he saw her.
I feel like it's
I know,
implied that
but
he
it's
was
just like-
going to come back.
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I wanted to see something resolve with that.
Nope.
I feel like the bigger
You want resolution in
thing
this movie?
the dude just found out that there's like an alien life form. All she knows
Yeah.
is, oh, there's a guy that just got stuffed into that trunk.
Yeah.
A naked one at that.
Honestly, she did kind of look like she was like, I don't want to be involved with this. That was what I got from her anyway. And
That's
honestly,
none of my
same.
business.
That ain't my
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. And then I guess my.
Oh, go.
Oh, go ahead. No, go. No, dude. Whatever.
Listen, dude, I was gonna
Take it from me. I'm not saying anything.
fine. For the sake of the podcast, I'll go then. I was just wondering what I couldn't figure out exactly what happened in the scene where she and the dude, that she hung out with for a while and like spent the night at his place or whatever. When they're about to have sex, what
did she look at?
Yeah, because part of me was like, was it blood?
She was checking to see if he broke the like skin suit.
Okay.
Oh,
because that was the thing. When the guy that raped her, how he found out is he accidentally ripped off part of the suit, and that's why they showed like the small of her back, but you can see the like black figure beneath. So she was looking because she wasn't used to. I mean, up to that point, she hadn't had sex in that way, so she thought that maybe he broke. And honestly, I think he did because she left.
Yeah. And
I was thought thinking that it was like maybe she didn't have a vagina or something, and she was like,
I was thinking of like because it seemed like they were like struggling.
Yeah, like he actually get it out.
And so like there was like nowhere for it to go, for lack of a better term. That's what I kind of like was thinking. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I think either explanation works.
That makes sense though, Nick. I didn't even really think about that.
Have y'all seen that meme where it's like it's the pelvis with like nothing there, and it's just a shit. I ain't even got it on me. That's what that scene reminded me of.
Good.
I was trying to find it the other day to post some just unsolicited in the text channel.
I got it on me.
Yikes.
I don't know. That was a sad moment. I feel like that's the time where I was like, oh, she like knows what it's like to kind of be human a little bit, and she has like a connection to someone, and
she's like, oh shit,
and then
I ain't got no.
It's like I ain't. Yeah, I'm not a human.
I ain't got no cooter.
Yeah, I don't know why for some reason in my brain, the first thing I thought was that was something related to blood because of that time when the guy grabbed the roses or whatever. And I guess he had cut himself, and so it left blood on the plastic around the rose. And she was like super like, what the fuck is this? And so I don't know why in my brain that's what I was thinking. But then by the end of the movie, like obviously she ain't got normal blood, so I don't know what my brain was thinking about.
Yeah.
Anyway,
wait, I thought something that was interesting was the fact that when the guy was molesting her, she instinctively knew that she was in danger somehow, even though she wouldn't, by like our standard, she wouldn't know what that even means.
Honestly, you could just draw the quote unquote conclusion that it's because an action that was kind of similar was happening between her and the other dude, but it felt like on the complete opposite end of the spectrum where
that's true.
Yeah, he was clearly, being gentle and like, normal sex stuff.
Yeah. And the other guy was chasing after her.
Yeah, and so
touching her while she slept.
But to that point, she did. Before that, she had no her interaction with him was positive too.
That's true.
I wonder
because he was just
off. He seemed really off.
It seemed a little off. Yeah, he seemed weird.
I didn't get that at all. I was just like, this dude he's gonna do something weird. I could just feel it. The way he was, as soon as she showed up, he was like, oh hey, hi, yeah, you, oh yeah, and we you going to the car, you're all alone.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he said.
I mean,
nailed it.
Here's the thing, she acts that way at the beginning of the movie. She's just asking people weird questions, and nosing into people's business a lot.
Fuck.
Bars.
Damn.
Oh, what if she would have grown as a
Nick
person?
is using his degree,
become a real human, but this fucking dude's just like, well, now I'm gonna burn her.
Well, I think that's like that's like something I kind of took away from it. Is like she starts quote becoming human, and then to me it seemed like she she captured the guy with the deformed face, and then she changed her mind about it, and it seemed like maybe her thought process was something like, oh, is this wrong? Do they deserve this? And then she kind of tries to be more human and just realizes that she can't, and then humanity just betrays her. I mean, not humanity as a whole, but
and then the whole world nuked her.
Yes, everyone lit her on fire. They took turns.
I could see that. That makes sense.
Yeah, well, that's what she gets for trusting humanity. So
Shit.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Fucked up of her.
I mean, didn't she kind of the scene where the dude tried to save the drowning guy, and she kind of indirectly caused some issues there.
Yeah, for sure.
She
Oh,
also
yeah, no, definitely.
caved the man's skull in.
Yeah, well, that and then
Yeah.
Like, she's not the heroine of the story.
Oh
No, she's not good by
There's-
any stretch of the imagination.
she
Only
starts
one
off,
good
like,
character in this whole movie. And it's a
baby.
disfigured dude. Oh, nah, baby kind of give
baby.
me some weird. He's giving me some weird vibes, man.
Baby do be
I don't know, dude. He didn't even try to go in and save the
Exactly.
parents, but whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of cringe, bro. Oh, the dog in the water. That's the only good character.
Oh, good.
No,
dog.
that dog is the whole reason that started, because the dog was drowning. So
I'm sure that
the woman
dog
went
was
in there.
fine.
Yeah, how dare
Try
he
to save
drown?
her.
What a fucking
then-
idiot.
dog.
But then she got stuck, and the husband went in to try to get the wife. And at that point, it was just it was just cascaded from there. So it's really the dog's fault.
I mean, the husband also basically killed himself because the dude saved him, and then the husband was like, "Fuck chimp, back to the water."
Oh, I mean, can you blame him?
No, I
though?
can't.
I get it.
But like, also,
No, I can.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fucking
Caring about your family?
That's fucking weird, dude.
Question mark. It's kind of like ugh, that poor baby.
know.
Wait, did somebody grab that baby?
No.
No,
baby was just
they
vibing.
left it there.
Okay, I don't know
Shut that
why.
baby up.
Oh,
Shut
right.
that
The
baby
dude
up. Shut
rolled
that
up,
baby.
grabbed the towel, and then left the baby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
he
then
left
on
the
the
baby.
radio later, they were saying that they found the husband's body, but the wife and the child were missing. So that makes me
Yeah.
think that the baby may have gotten like washed up.
Well, that was
Like the
what
tide
I-
came up or
That
something.
was
the tide.
what was inferred to me, because the last
Yeah.
time you see him,
Yeah.
the tide is touching him.
Yeah,
Damn.
Damn.
damn, bro, they really out here killing babies.
And
All right, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for me to drop this bomb on you, or do we have more?
It was all a
I think
dream.
you haven't said a lot. Did you have anything else?
Cut the movie by half, and I think it'd be a lot better.
yeah, I was gonna say like I feel like this could have worked as a
it would
short
have made
film.
a good short.
I
Yeah.
thought it was like a short film would be the perfect format for that, because that, even to me, I see short films more that convey intensity and unease in a very similar way that they're doing, because usually short films you obviously don't have the time to explain everything,
yeah,
and so
Yeah.
usually like ambiguity is what can make this isn't really a horror, I mean this is like sci-fi, but it can make those chilling, and I think that they were kind of going for that, and it just, some of it did like drag to the point of, I mean, I was legitimately starting to fall asleep at some points, and by the time that she had gotten on the bus, I was kind of like, honestly, I feel like I could probably fast forward and get the story, then just watch it. I still watched it, but I think they could have. I think the long takes is not the problem, because that was like important to her character.
yeah.
But I think there was just some interactions that could have been cut, and it could have made it a little even more intense. But it was interesting. I thought that a lot of the weird spaces, like anytime, like the opening where she's in just the white room, even though that's just the van, or just any of the dark rooms, was an interesting choice to. I took it as some of her focus of just she's on her objective, and it's also like part of it I saw as kind of like the critique of how men view sex as opposed to women, because they're literally like so entranced
like
with
tunnel
her
vision.
that
Yeah.
they're literally walking to their deaths. And it was just interesting of how, like, I guess kind of like, I mean, I did think it was a bit more of a critique of men in general, of just and not even just men in general, but the perception of men that they are that focused on sex. And I feel like that's where the disfigured man came in and gives that more maybe realistic view of there's plenty of people that, not even just due to like being quote unquote like unattractive, but like for him, like her perception of him was not that he was unattractive. And to me, it was like she found him the most attractive because she didn't really care about the look of him. But there's definitely interesting themes.
Let
I
me
wouldn't
tell
say that
you
I'd
about
watch it again. Ever.
this. All right, that whole thing you said about men being like entranced and everything, and Logan, your stuff with like talking about her acting. Let me share what I learned. What would you say? I feel like this is not going to be as exciting as I'm making it sound.
Definitely not, but go ahead.
I feel like I
What
might
if
already
you-
know this.
What would you say if I told you that most of the stuff shot in the van, and as well as like stuff in public places like the mall, I know for sure, I think the club as well, that was all shot with hidden cameras, and none of those people were actors except for Scarlett Johansson?
I believe it.
I would probably believe that.
The disfigured man was.
The disfigured man was, yeah. Or at least as far as I know.
No,
but,
he was.
But I'm pretty sure. Okay, I'm pretty sure everyone else, like as far as like the men she picked up off the street, those were not actors. They did not know until after the fact, and then they like obviously like the scene where they like showed their dicks was like after they like signed a release and stuff. But not most of those shots were like she legitimately was like driving around Scotland like picking up random dudes, and they would go with her.
Wait, Logan,
And that's just like
Creepy.
didn't I say that to you? Like, I was like, oh, these scenes look like they're like real, not like. I'm pretty sure I caught on that.
You said that? Yeah, I mean, you said that about like the
mall
the,
scene,
um,
yeah, but not
the mall
about
scene?
the mall.
picking them up.
Yeah, the
I
mall was
feel like, with the guys, it was a
too.
little bit more staged. I guess I
You
don't
can
know.
see the shift for sure.
Yeah.
Like once she
Yeah,
gets
I
on the
think so.
bus, they were definitely using a different camera and lens type because I noticed that the back half of the film they get more cinematic with like the fog and the guy on the motorcycle looking over like the snow. And the early half they didn't do as much of that stuff.
Yeah. But no, I heard that and I was like, what? Like I knew that before going into the movie. That's like that was one of the things that the guy was talking about that he really liked about it, just like the almost like half like documentary style that it was shot in. And I was like, that's honestly like what kind of piqued my interest besides like the rest of the movie. I was like, oh, I really, really liked like just the idea of like a documentary almost where like one person's in on it and nobody else is. Like I really love like this is like not the same thing at all, but like stuff like Jackass or like Borat even like where they do like the in public like pranks on people, like that stuff's always like been kind of funny to me. And then like the way that they do it in this just to like tell a story, it just, I don't know, super interesting.
How could you not mention the most important of that genre? What would you do with John Quinones?
Damn, dude, you're right.
I hate you.
I had to think about that for a while. And I
If
was
anything,
like,
that's
wait,
closer to
like,
this than Jackass.
Yeah, that definitely is.
I actually did think that though during one scene for like a split second. I don't remember specifically when in the movie it was. Obviously, it was just another van scene. I want to say it was before she picked up the man with the disfigured face. There was just like the shots of like people kind of walking along the sidewalk as the movie do, but then there was like this one shot of like this dude who probably seemed like he was college age, like stopping and like shouting at someone like he was their friend, and I was like, was that acting? Because that really just sounds like I don't know, it really felt like something you would just see on like insert street name here. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was like the one moment where I was like, this feels like that dude doesn't seem like an actor, but I didn't really think about it beyond that. But I believe it.
Yeah.
I wonder what the story was. If I would assume that these guys were regulars, but when she's in the van and that huge group of guys come to the van and they kind of start like pounding on the van, I'd love to know the story behind that.
I wonder if that was that's interesting. And that's like I don't know, for some reason I never questioned the van, but then like thinking about it more, I'm like, oh, the crew's in there, like obviously, right? And I don't know, but it never like seems like that's the case. Like it the van is like so unimportant. I think because they show the guy with the motorcycle coming out of it, and it's just like, oh, okay, that's why she has the van, and you like never question it. But I wonder if she was like legitimately in danger. But I guess the crew would have been there too. But still, like that was. I wonder if that was like a scripted part or not.
I would hope so.
I saw one thing that there was a like one theory about the movie was that she's a Selkie, which is a Scottish folklore creature that I'm trying to pull it up. It was something about they're a creature that look like seals, but they'll shed their skin to become human on land, and they're described as being like very beautiful in their human form. That was interesting.
Yeah, that is. It's it was based off of a book apparently, and then they had like a screenplay, because like I think the book originally is about I think it's almost like a husband and wife, like a couple, that like they're like the aliens and they're trying to like gather humans, and they had a version of the script that was like that, and then they were like, take every part with the man out, and then that's kind of how they got the script for this, more or less. And I was like, that's so I don't know if like the book explains more, but like I definitely think they left it all ambiguous for a reason.
I can't imagine this is a book.
It took like 10 years to make.
Yeah,
I bet.
The movie.
I was watching like a little behind the scenes thing of like them making the hidden camera stuff in the van, and I was like, that's really neat. Because like obviously it's like pretty cinema quality stuff for hidden cameras, which is like not easy to do. Like most like digital cinema cameras are like pretty big,
Right.
Yeah.
but they managed to do it with by like kind of like the sensor was in one part, and then like the actual like power was in a different, and the lens obviously was like mostly like smaller ones that they could fit into the spaces. It's kind of neat. Bro, I'm yawning because I haven't had my nap today. I started my new job.
Oh no.
Anyway, I wake up at 6 every morning to get there at 7, and then I'm off at 4. And I've been like taking naps when I got home. And then let me tell you, just going from like working like the most sporadic retail hours, especially during a fucking pandemic, and then just going to like a job where I don't come in contact with anybody, like I don't even see people all day besides the people I work with, and then I am off at 4 and I have weekends off. It's so nice.
It hits different.
I love taking naps. It really do hit different.
Oh man.
I have so much time to do my homework for the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, so much time. That's why I watched it today.
Oh well.
I watched it yesterday.
Honestly, I wanted to wait because I was like, I don't know what this movie's gonna be like, and I don't want to watch it at the beginning of the week, get to the end, and be like, I don't remember, but I don't want to rewatch it. So
Yeah, true.
fresh on the mind.
Would have been a good one to watch
You guys-
early in the week because only 3 things happened in the movie.
Damn, that's true. You guys miss the movies?
Not really.
I miss the movies.
Most places.
I was just like,
Somewhat.
I was like, Yeah. Well, I'm just like the other day I was thinking about like whatever happened to this movie that I kept seeing trailers for, and I would just like forget.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Oh, that's right. Who knows when they'll come out?
I'll drive by the local Cinemark occasionally, and I mean, like, well, if a place is closed, you can't tell, like, I guess, like, when the last time someone was there easily, but, like, it legitimately looks like no one's been to that building in, like, 5 years. Like, it's just so fucking dead. It's really
Ages
weird.
Even though they've started their reopen.
Yeah.
Really?
Actually,
They started on the 19th.
They're going to be shutting back down soon.
Yeah.
But that was the thing, is that was a test. I think they only did like 5 theaters in the area, and it was just for the weekend, I think. And I don't remember the rest of it. Was like a 4-phase reopen, but yeah, they might get halted again. I don't know what they'd be showing.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be like, so you've got to like buy. I don't fucking know how movie theaters work, but like, I'm assuming you have to like buy the rights to like show a movie, and then
Yeah.
yes,
I mean, they probably have
more or
deals
less.
with the studios with
But it's
that,
not-
but like technically, yes. Like if we were to host like our own movie night by like renting one of those screens, technically by like, I think by federal law, you have to have the rights to screen certain films.
yeah,
Is that what that warning
Yeah.
at the beginning of movies is about?
Yeah.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
steal a car.
Well, not that.
that's fine.
That's just pirating.
That's the pirating.
Yeah. But I mean, it is related. It is somewhat related. You are displaying without permission, so you're in a way could be.
Would it?
But I'm
seen as-
assuming like for the most part, like the cost of like, okay, like you buy the rights to fucking like the new Transformers movie, like the cost of like just showing it, you know, minus like the labor and having the building and everything is like the same if you were to show like it once as opposed to like 50,000 times. So like I feel like just having a movie theater open to show a new movie for like a couple weekends, even with like the concession sales and everything, is gonna be like, it would be a worse financial toll than just being shut
But
down.
would they even have
Yeah.
concessions?
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, and-
I wouldn't buy
Yeah.
concessions. I mean, I don't, because holy moly.
The
Well, for one, like I'm not an expert on theater operation either, but I don't necessarily think that they buy the rights to like every movie they show, because my bigger assumption is that they have deals with the studios, because an example of this was when Tarantino was releasing Hateful Eight. He was doing those special screenings, and there was a theater in California that he
I
was
remember
slated
this.
to be doing like his 70mm show. And if someone remembers what movie it was a Disney movie.
it was Star Wars.
Was-
Pretty sure it
yeah,
was Star
that's
Wars,
right. It
yeah.
was Star Wars.
It was a Star Wars. Yep.
I don't know which one. It was either,
I think episode 7.
I think it was Rogue
that would have
One.
been Force
I wanna
Awakens.
say
That could have been 2015 when
Oh,
the
it
Hateful
was
Eight came
Force
out.
Awakens.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Force Awakens was coming out, and so Disney was like, you either show Force Awakens at that time, or you don't
show
get
it at
any
all.
of, like, no Star Wars for like a few
For
months.
life.
Basically until after the hype of it had, and it's like one of the bigger theaters in California. So the studios and the theaters have some of a deal, because I mean, at the basic level, the studios need to display the film. Well, they don't all have theaters, so they're going to make the theater buy the rights to show the movie that they need to make money off of. But I think the bigger thing is they supply the film, but they say we're going to we get most of the profit, because that's, theaters don't make money off
Yeah.
tickets, they make it off concessions. So
Yeah.
to your point, yeah, if they were to open, they wouldn't. They're not going to open unless they can sell concessions. That's why I think that's one of the big reasons why they've continued to stay shut down is because they know that their concession sales aren't going to be that great, so they're probably operating at a loss at that rate.
Yeah.
I got a survey from Alamo because I was going there a lot, and man, bro, slight tangent. I signed up for their like movie pass beta. And they were just about to start doing it in our area. They were like, "You're the next test area. It's coming up." And then they announced it. They're like, "All right, you can sign up right now." And then like literally 2 weeks later, they had to shut down. I was like, "Damn it!"
My movies.
But they sent a survey like a little while ago. And I guess they haven't really acted on it because they don't have movies to show or anything still. But they were like, "Hey, so when we reopen, what do you think about these changes?" And blah, blah, blah. And it was asking like, do you want like a seat between you and the next party over? And like, would you be okay? This was like a big thing, or I felt like, because there was like a couple of questions about this. It was like, would you be okay with a minimum food or beverage purchase with your ticket? And I was like, that makes so much sense because especially at Alamo, the food's so expensive. But like, I honestly was like, I might do it if like knowing when I bought the ticket that it would be a thing, because I usually get food anyway, and I understand where like, especially if they can't even fill the theater because they're gonna have to leave half the seats empty, probably more than that. Yeah. That like, yeah. But I also get the like the idea of like, do I even want to order food from someone who like, I don't know where they've been, I don't know what they're doing. But
I mean, then stop going out to eat.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah,
I guess that's true. Yeah, no, I
But
fucking
when you think,
yo, you're right. I hit the drive-through like almost every day.
comparing a movie theater, like movie theater food to an actual restaurant, there's like a slight discrepancy there in terms of like the expected cleanliness.
Alamo,
Alamo
not so
is
much,
like
since that's more of a kitchen.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting a meal, but like a vat of popcorn.
Yeah, that's just some.
I mean,
definitely
you
the high
are
schooler.
limited. Yeah, and I've seen a ton of like even fast food service people that like aren't wearing gloves, which I'm like, oh, why are you even like working in food service without gloves on?
That's
That's
like
alarming.
standard.
You should be doing that
Without
even
a
whenever
pandemic,
you're not
though.
in a pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're working the like drive-through window, but I'm still like, I would think that at any moment you need to handle food, you should be wearing gloves. I pulled up Cinemark, and I pulled up the showings that were today at the theater closest to me.
Okay.
So they are showing movies. Every movie, the most showings they have a day are 3 showings.
Okay.
Also, all of these have a tag on it that say $5 adult and $3 child.
Wow.
So I'm gonna read through
Jesus.
what they're showing. They're showing The Matrix.
Amazing.
They're showing Mad Max
Okay.
Fury Road,
Oh,
Oh, let's go.
Sonic the Hedgehog,
Let's go.
Of course.
The Invisible Man, The Hunt,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Jumanji.
Those are actually new, relatively.
Yeah.
That one was out when
No,
everything
the
shut
first
down.
Jumanji.
Okay.
Oh no,
Oh.
wait. The next
Oh.
Robin
level.
Williams?
The next level is the second one, right?
Less
That's
hyped.
the second
Yeah,
one.
A
Yeah.
lot less hyped.
Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, Back to the Future, Blade Runner, Get Out, Jaws, Mean
Nice.
Girls, Space
Oh.
Jam, The Lego Movie, and Wonder Woman.
Okay.
So
That's
they're
cool, though.
showing. There's nothing new that they're showing.
No.
So that's
I mean, I assume they get more of a box office cut for something that's not like a
probably. I mean, the
new
newest thing
movie.
is
Yeah.
Sonic. Honestly,
Yeah.
That
Thought the Invisible
Can't wait for that to
Man
win
came
Best
out.
Picture.
Invisible Man was
The Invisible Man also, yeah.
that came out That was one of the. That came out right as the pandemic started or
Okay.
shutdown started,
Uh-huh.
because I remember they started to show it in theaters and then they had to switch over to
The on-demand.
yeah, the
stuff,
on-demand.
whatever.
And they did it really fast.
Yeah.
Rip.
That's like
So
the biggest thing that I was talking to my parents about, this kind of a mild shift of gears, still pandemic mode though. Don't worry, I know you're all excited about that. I was talking about with my parents. It was like there are so many businesses that as soon as this happened, they're just like, okay, we're online now. Just do everything online. And if anything, this is just proving how well things can work completely online. I'm just like, why aren't more businesses just using this time to come up with some sort of online structure? I know not every business can do it, but this is the perfect time to try it out. And if it doesn't work, it's not like you were getting customers anyway, so nothing changed. Like, you can try stuff out, and then when things open back up, you can have the physical stuff and some online components that'll maybe get you more business. But what do I know?
That makes too much fucking sense.
This is
Trace.
coming
I think
from,
a lot
this is
of
coming
that-
from an IT guy.
Yeah.
You just want more
You would
jobs.
like that to happen,
I mean,
wouldn't you?
and that's like the point that I kind of thought about is it's like it's definitely easier for us for that transition because most of us already have home setups,
Yeah.
but like a lot of the workforce is older than us per se, and
Trust me, I know.
we all know how people handle like
Change.
just getting like
those
email
freaking
on their
calls,
phone.
dude. So
Yeah,
many about
so-
the stupidest
How do I reset
stuff.
my password?
Yeah,
Oh my
so
god.
it seems easier, and it really is easy when it comes down to it, but
Yeah.
the volume of people that just
Won't.
don't know and are frankly unwilling to really learn is so much that I can see why a company would be like, all right, this isn't worth it. We're
It's-
killing our IT department.
Yeah, it's
alone.
like too alienating to certain people for them to. Yeah.
I
don't
do
know.
agree though. I think there's definitely like, or even like like my team has talked about, or my company has talked about like having some people in the office, some out.
Yeah.
And like my job, I work closely in a team, but I could easily not have to get up and drive an hour to work every day and still be able to, even if like everyone else was at the office. And I do think like getting out is good. So like having an office to go to is a good thing.
Yeah.
But like ideally, if we were to like go back to work tomorrow, it would be my ideal situation would be I go into the office like a couple days a week and I work from home the rest because it would work fine.
Yeah, it's been the same with my job too. Realizing I've been doing my job honestly better now that I'm at home,
You don't have
as opposed to being in office. Yeah, I don't want to drive. It's like 2 hours out of my day that I get back that I can like sleep in and do things that make me feel like a human being.
Hell yeah.
And I don't know, I just get like so distracted at work just from like other people working and I don't know, just like being in my own space, I focus a lot better. So yeah, and I totally get where Nick's coming from here because it's just I don't know, there's just there's so many jobs that just you don't fucking need to be there physically. It's
Really?
I feel like the driving alone like is what really takes the toll.
Driving.
Oh,
On,
for
like
sure.
just an 8-hour work day.
Yeah.
Like if I lived
Yep.
right
Yeah,
like up
this
the
is-
street from my office, I would not care because I could basically come and go from home as I please.
Yeah.
But having to drive an hour in the morning and then hopefully at the least an hour coming back in the afternoon is more grueling
miserable.
than it just kind of takes it out of you both ways.
Yeah.
Then you get home and you just want to fucking just lay down the rest of the night and you have maybe a couple hours to yourself before you have to go back to sleep and then do the same thing.
It's it's like especially when the job is not something that you're looking forward to in any capacity.
Oh,
The drive like that's what super killed me with my last job. If it was closer, I might have lasted a little longer. But honestly, since pandemic hit, I'm glad I quit when I
that job.
did.
Yeah.
Because I talked to one of my old
Oh, yeah,
coworkers,
true.
and apparently they still have to go in. So,
Dang.
and with them working with like, without saying the name of the place, but like working in like having to go to restaurants and stuff, you're interacting with a
Yeah.
lot of people. Granted, the restaurants are probably closed and drive-through only, but you're still interacting with all the people in the restaurants, and those places were not particularly clean to begin with. So,
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not out there.
There's a handful of studies, I'm sure, but I remember seeing one about like having a shorter commute time like reduces your happiness in the same way like a pay cut would. Like if that makes sense.
Like commute time.
Sorry. Having a longer.
Okay.
Having a longer.
I just really want to drive further for this job.
I was like, how does a pay cut reduce happiness?
How did I?
Oh boy, I can drive 12 hours
I'm
for
poor.
work. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
God.
No, but
Okay.
like literally like when it comes to like happiness, like your commute time is like it just literally will ruin
Because
How
it's
long?
not even.
how you feel about
How
a
long did
job.
y'all like between the time that you woke up in the morning and you started driving? How long were you awake?
Less than 30 minutes.
30
on
minutes,
almost
Yeah,
every day.
that's what I did.
Yeah,
So
me
mine-
too.
That
I do
for
that right
us
now.
is like takes a lot out. And think of like the people that have to. I mean, frankly, women more who probably usually have to get more ready than we do.
Oh yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine.
I don't know.
I mean, whenever I was like, when I was still waking up and going into the gym in the mornings, I would wake up at like 5:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't leave here until like 8:30.
Logan.
So I would be awake for like 3 hours before I would even go into work. It's awful.
And Logan would wake up an hour before I did, and he goes into work 2 hours after I do, and we work at the same place.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know how the fuck you did that for so long.
Go to the gym in the evening, idiot.
But then
I
after
can't.
work, you're
It's
just
a
like,
joke.
You know the vibes.
Yeah, no, I get that.
You know the vibes.
it was awful. I hated it.
Imagine living in like San Francisco where you have to like
Jeez.
you can't even drive to work. You have to rely on like
have to.
public transportation to get you
Jeez.
into San Francisco just to go to work.
And if you need to like, cause I don't know, something I kind of like about the drive is that like, yeah, I am alone, but it's just like, it's my alone time for the day. Like I can just
Yeah.
like chill, not have to like worry about having an awkward interaction with someone. But like, I don't know, I fucking worry about that a lot. But like, you just cannot fucking do that if you're like doing public transit. Like that's just not feasible
not the
whatsoever.
same.
Like
I feel like
you're just constantly. Yeah.
20 minutes to work and home from work is plenty for to get like my headspace, to get my, like it's your warm up when you're on your way to work. You're kind of just like, all right, listening to like, I don't know, I would listen to podcasts normally, just kind of like vibe, get in the mood to work. And then when you're coming home, it's like you're cool down and, maybe stop, grab some food on the way home, and then you're there. But once you start getting beyond like 45, 50 minutes, an hour, that it's too much. It's too much because it cuts into your day so much that you just feel drained.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind like in the mornings, I don't mind driving because really my commute should only be 20 to 30 minutes. It's just with like morning traffic
Yeah.
is what kills. And it's like if I could nonstop drive for an hour, that would be fine with me. It's like having to stop and go and stop and go. That is just
Killer.
soul sucking.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the day, I really don't want to deal with it. And I get off earlier than, I get off at 4 each day, I do now, but back then I was still getting off at that time, and I still like had to deal with a ton of traffic.
Yeah. Traffic kind of ass.
Got fucked up. They made traffic. Yeah,
Nothing was the same after they dropped traffic.
Let me find the CEO of traffic real quick.
Got some words for them. I want to file a
I wonder
complaint.
what tolls are like right now. Has anyone seen?
Wait.
It's about the same, honestly.
Is it? Okay.
I-
I'm shocked.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
shocked.
think they changed
I'll
those
be honest.
really.
I would think that they would raise them.
I don't think the amount of people going to and from places has really changed at all because, more tangents.
True.
I went to pick up food for my family today, and I went to that city that's near where I live, across the lake.
Okay. Yeah, I get you.
You know how people are over there. and it's a different
Wow.
it's a different county.
What do you
Yes.
mean?
It's also a different county, so the rules are different than they are for our county. Like a lot of the restrictions that we had, they didn't have. And when I went over there, literally, like I had my mask, and literally all I did was like, all right, park in the parking lot or whatever. It's kind of like a little shopping center kind of area, if you know what I'm talking about, off the water. And I just beelined for the restaurant, walked in, didn't even have to open the door because the door was already open, told them my name and walked out. But I swear to God, dude, it was like there wasn't a pandemic. There were people everywhere. Most people weren't wearing masks. There were only a few people wearing masks. And when I got to the restaurant, there was legitimately a family of like 12 people standing there without masks on, just looking at the door like, do we go in or do we and they're like staring at the sign that says, please wear a mask if you come in here. And they're just looking at each other like, oh,
Can we go in here?
For me,
it was, and I felt kind of rude because obviously didn't touch them because I ain't touching people. But I literally just like weaved through them and like cut them off as they were trying to figure out what to do. Because I was like, what are you doing here? You shouldn't even be here. Get out of the way. And so it wasn't that bad, but also like, bro, why are all these people here? You're literally asking for trouble.
I had a similar experience. I was in a city near ours with a similar demographic of the one that you're describing. I think you're describing it, or the one I'm describing it.
Oh god.
We love these vague
affluent.
descriptions.
It's another affluent city.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
And yeah, no, I was going to Whole Foods. I think which also describes the type of city very well. And yeah, no, there's a bunch of like restaurants in the area, and they looked more packed than like pre-COVID. And again, a lot of people didn't see with fucking masks on, and it's just I don't know. I don't know if it's just legitimate people are just uninformed of just like how severe the situation is, or if it's just like, you're living in your own little bubble and you're gonna, have whatever just confirmation bias you want to hear about the situation and just still figure out justification and do whatever you want to do. But I don't know, that shit just freaks the fuck out of me that people can just like,
not care.
Everyone's not that stupid. Ideally, I'd like to believe that not everyone's not that stupid.
Do I have news for you?
But I think it's just like
I don't know.
I don't know. It's just I don't even know.
It's such a weird thing to see.
Yeah, just
Like,
people are
just-
just
I feel like it has been a bit of a culture shock of just, and it's so ambiguous of like, is it uncare? Like, is it just blatant not caring anymore?
I think it's selfishness, and that people don't want to have to do things that they don't like doing until they directly have something affect them, and then they get the shock of, oh, this is real, and my actions are more harmful to other people than they are to myself. Because not wearing a mask is more inconsiderate to other people than it is to yourself.
yeah.
Because the whole point of the mask is you're supposed to be wearing it if you might have germs or something. That's what it's stopping. But yeah.
I will say that like the silver lining, not of what people are doing, but like the restaurants themselves, of the ones that I've been into, I've only eaten in one restaurant in this whole time, and that was like last week, and I didn't really even want to, but like they were very good about like the separation of people and the limitation of like, even the waiter, I could tell like they were instructed, you get the order and you get away. And like a lot of restaurants that I've gone in to pick food up have done a good job of mitigating and knowing like how to set their restaurant up to where they can have people come in and still like mitigate that safety. But like I don't even like. What I don't get is why I don't even feel comfortable walking in a restaurant without the mask on. And even when I was sitting at the table, I was like, I know it's like quote unquote safe for me to take it off now, but there's just still that like hesitation of, I don't really know who's been sitting here. Like, I know that they're likely wiping everything down, but I have no, I mean, like I said, I'm seeing people at the drive-thru that just aren't wearing masks or gloves anymore. So who's to say that, and in a restaurant setting, it's a lot more to manage of, did you wipe the table down? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Did he really? You never know.
Yeah. I mean, they're servers. They're not like plague sanitation
I mean, they
workers.
still could potentially have like 3 or 5 tables that they're going between.
Yeah.
Especially if like restaurants have had to sparse down on their staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Strange times afoot.
But I think jumping back to what I think someone had brought up before that, or no, Jason brought up that like I don't know, people feel I don't know, they don't think anything's real until it like affects them directly. I actually had a guy I had to talk to, a customer at work who I was on the phone with, and he was like, yeah, this is like I think like 2 months ago at this point. It's a while back. But he was like, yeah, no, I didn't. I thought, coronavirus was a joke and that it wasn't anything, really serious to be concerned about until my best friend died from it. And I'm just like, dude, that's fucking heavy. I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, God damn. He's like, yeah, no, we gotta fucking stay inside, like shut shit down. And it's just so crazy how like there are people that fucking need someone close to them to die for it to take it seriously. Yeah.
For them to have empathy.
And
How old was this guy?
He was or the guy that died? Or the guy I was
how
talking
old he
to?
was?
The guy I was
Either
talking
or.
to probably sounded like he was in his like 40s, 50s. Probably same with his friend.
I figured.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
Apparently someone in my neighborhood that is friends with one of my mom's, I wouldn't call her a friend, but her acquaintance. Okay, let me re-say this. My mom is acquainted with someone in the neighborhood whose neighbor, who their entire family has it right now.
Holy shit.
So literally there is, I mean, I know there's more people that have it near me, but just the fact that I know with 100% certainty that there's somebody less than a mile from me whose entire family has it is like stressful. I don't like it.
Wasn't there like a family that it was like they threw like a surprise party for someone? There was like 18 people in a single house and they like all got COVID.
Jesus.
Surprise.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
It's really sad
you
too,
get?
because you see like like the drive-by, like all the parades that people would kind of do for their family members or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, did y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was like, okay, that's how it's done. Like, that's making the best of a bad situation. And it's just, I mean, I know that like the capability of everyone to do that obviously is not feasible, but it's sad that that sentiment is not like the prevailing voice of like even commercials. Like for a while we're trying to get that across of we're better when we're together, but for now, we kind of, trying to find the optimism, and I feel like that has just kind of
just
died.
dropped off.
We're here until it's over.
There's a really funny YouTube video. I think the title is literally like every advertisement during the pandemic or something, and it's just like it's a really good rip on all those commercials about like we're here for you, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's pretty. I don't know if I showed you guys, but it's pretty good.
I feel like I know what channel you're talking about because there's some guy who does that with like TV shows where it's like every episode of this show or every scene of this movie or every bit of this game, and he does that a lot, and I feel like that's who it is, but I might be wrong. But anyway,
maybe I don't know. I'm surprised it took us this long to have like a full on COVID cast. Yeah,
because nobody wants to talk about it.
I think. Yeah, I know. I think we didn't want to talk about it, but now it's just like it's still
basically
happening.
is the root of the problems that we've been talking about.
Damn.
Hey, but it makes for.
I mean, we're all aware.
We're the problem.
Hey, we're making the people aware, Edward. Do you hear me?
We're the real plague.
COVID is real, Edward.
All the Edwards out there.
All of our Edwards. We love you. We miss you. We'll see you again soon. I don't know why I said that.
I know you made it seem like we were.
I didn't
like,
mean
oh,
like the
guys.
end of the podcast. I meant like we'll see you in person again soon.
See ya.
Well, I
Oh
guess
yeah, true. Yeah, we'll have a meetup.
I guess Edward would be kind of far. Also, yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we can't. It can't be the end.
You know why it can't be the end?
Because we need to know what Jose's got.
Because Jose needs to assign the homework.
Homework.
It better be something
All
creative.
right.
Bro,
What you
that's the
got?
name of the
It's not.
podcast. Homie work.
Green is not a creative color.
Homie work.
For our homework, we're listening to our own podcast.
Oh,
All right, I'm
fuck.
jumping.
I
on
know
that
you
podcast.
motherfuckers haven't done it too. I know y'all haven't
Why
done
would
that
I
shit.
do that? We need views.
I've listened to them. I've listened to them even outside of editing. And look, I'm not gonna lie, guys. We're pretty funny sometimes.
That's because we're friends.
No.
Of course, we're funny to each
love
other.
I think I've had people say that that the podcast is good.
I mean,
whatever.
Yeah,
we don't talk about it.
I was about to start. Yeah, this is an afterpod chat.
Let's just jerk ourselves off on the podcast.
Jose,
Yeah, let's do it.
Tell us.
Welcome to the Jerk Off Podcast, where Jose's gonna jerk us off.
that's the homework. So we're jerking each other
You
off.
can't see it, but I'm jerking us off.
I hate this.
Thank
Wait,
God.
so the homework?
Nick's like, please wrap this up. All right, for the homework, I told you guys yesterday that we were doing it. We were gonna watch Community. So for our homework, we're going to community college, and we're watching 3 episodes. So they're 20 minutes like a
Are
pop.
they
Yeah.
okay?
Are they?
Do I need to write this down?
Do we get to choose which
I will
episodes?
write it down for us.
Send
Yeah,
it.
I chose. I
Okay.
can't pick the
Yeah,
episodes.
true.
But I'm also gonna say
Got it.
them right now, even though you guys are gonna forget as soon as they
Yeah,
come out
just
of my
put
mouth.
them in the chat, but go and say them.
But we're watching an episode from season 1, an episode from season 2, an episode from season 3. So we're gonna watch
Classic.
Modern Warfare.
Can I guess?
Okay.
Damn it, I knew it.
We're gonna watch Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Of course.
And-
wait. Oh, wait. Season 3? Is that what we're missing still?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Documentary filmmaking.
No.
Basic
Is it-
lupine urology.
No.
Damn, dude, I can't even remember the good episodes. I really thought I was gonna be able to guess. Is it the lava one? The floor is lava?
No, that's
That's
season
season 5. That's the last
Is
one
it
with Troy.
Chaos Theory?
Yes, it's Remedial Chaos Theory.
Yes, Chaos Theory. Yes.
So we're watching 3 episodes of Community. They're 20 minutes a pop.
Cool.
So it'll be an hour of you guys' time. I know some of you guys have already rewatched it,
Oh,
but if you just want to rewatch it, you could, and then we'll talk about Community next week.
Nice.
Dope.
Right on.
Sounds good.
And we're also doing crack cocaine.
Let's go.
That's
Hey, that's for the season finale.
If we
Come back
reach-
next week to maybe hear about a maybe special season finale episode.
if
Oh,
we can
fuck.
get 100
Yeah.
subscribers by this time next week, we'll do crack cocaine after that.
That's
No.
you know what?
That's a negative.
I'm confident enough to say
No.
that.
Somehow Edward's gonna make it happen.
Confident
Just write
about
to
that.
write to
Gonna make
program.
100 accounts.
Confident enough that we won't get that. Don't worry, guys. All right. Well, thanks for listening or watching.
Thanks, Edward.
You know, watching the still screen because I don't do the animations anymore because that shit was taking 12 hours to export.
Yikes.
Heck,
When can our listeners listen to us on SoundCloud or some shit?
that's a good topic of conversation off the podcast.
It's a great, yeah.
All right,
soon,
stay tuned.
Soon TM.
Stay tuned,
We'll
guys.
let you know. Once we have it available on different platforms, we'll link it to those platforms.
Once we sorted out the kinks.
Yeah, but for now, don't forget to slide, like, and bomb it.
And wear a mask.
Ding that hell.
Ding the. All right.
And wear the mask.
Right,
Wash
wear
your
your
hands.
masks.
Wash your
All
ass.
right. Bye, Mom.
Bye.
Get away from
I
me.
love you.
Get out of here.